So Alex, how did you first get into sailing?
I first got into sailing through Scouts. Had a tea session down at Papercourt one day in September 2005. I came down and I was put in the boat with a volunteer initially, and the next time I came down I was put in the boat on my own, and they sent me out and then it all started from there. I can't remember what I did before sailing now, it's just taken over.
And what did you first learn to sail in?
And access 303 and 2.3 as well, the little bathtubs.
Perfect. And it sounds like sailing was something you enjoyed straight away.
Yeah. I mean, it was the first sport that I was able to do on my own, really, because I can only use one arm. The boats can be adapted to me rather than me having to adapt to the equipment, which is a major appeal for me, that I can be very competitive with able-bodied sailors as well in club racing.
And what boats did you move on and learn to sail after that?
Then in 2007 I picked up on the Access Liberty, which is a single-handed step up on the Access 303. Following on from that I moved into the Challenger. I was invited to participate in the World Championships in 2008 in Portugal, which I came 18th in. And then I moved into the Scud, which is like the Paralympic class that I'm in now.
And can you tell us a bit about what it's like sailing the Scud?
Exciting. When it gets windy, it gets very hairy, but that's part of the adrenaline rush you get. The controlling of the boat in those conditions is very hard work, but very exciting. And in light wind, it can be a very technical boat because you have to get everything bang on right. And yeah, it's a very, very fun boat to sail.
What would you say one of the biggest challenges is for you?
The biggest challenge for me at this time is actually finding a new crew. Because in order to progress, I need to find a crew who's A, female, because of the rules, and B, has a minimal disability. So if there's anyone out there, please get in contact. And in order to progress, I need to do that. And then following that, it will just be a case of getting on the water as much as possible.
When did you first realise that Paralympic sailing was an opportunity for you?
Probably back in 2007, really, when I first got into the Challenger. There were a number of sailors in that class who were either going for 2008 or who had been to the Paralympics themselves, and they kind of inspired me to take that next step on to the Scud, and it's been. I'm standing on the shoulders of giants at the moment.
And has there been anything that surprised you about your Paralympic campaign?
Probably the standard competition at the top level, because it is very, very high. I mean, Nikki and Alex, who are the Scud representatives, have been doing it since 2007. And they're just way ahead of everyone at the moment. It's brilliant. And meanwhile, you've got the Aussie team, and Dan just given the helm. He was a sailor before he had his accident, and he was a brilliant sailor in his own right. You know, there's such a high standard of competition at the top level, and there's very small differences that make a massive difference on the racetrack.
And what are your ambitions with sailing then?
Well, long term, it's to hopefully emulate Ben Ainsley, but that's the kind of biggest cost thing. Hopefully to become part of the 2016 Paralympic GB squad, and hopefully win a gold medal, really. But yeah, it's 4 years, there's a long time to go, and anything can happen. It's a case of keeping an eye on the competitors and making sure to stay ahead of the game with them.
Because you've sailed a lot with the Paralympic team.
Yes.
Have you learned anything from them?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, in the past couple of years, it's been very tight in terms of what they'll give information out because of other teams wanting to beat them. But there have been a few hints along the way about boat setup and steering and such like, and just about the key thing, training. I'm in very close contact with one of the sailors, Hannah Solid, who's been very good at advising me along the way and keeping me up to date with what's going on from their point of view, so that's been very helpful.
So regarding your training, how do you manage to juggle that as well as studying for a physics degree at Southampton?
I've actually been part of TAS, which is the Talent Athlete Scholarship Scheme for the past few years, and the aim of that programme is to help bridge the gap between academic life and sporting life, and that's been really helpful in trying to talk to my academic unit at the university, and trying to get me time off and all this stuff, and trying to negotiate deadlines. So from that point of view, I'm very well supported. It's just a case of keeping them informed with what I'm doing and when I'm doing it.
What advice would you give to somebody else who perhaps had a disability and was looking into going sailing?
Probably get your name out there. If you're looking at doing a Paralympic campaign, get your name out there. Get people aware of what you're doing. Because publicity has been one of the main aspects of my campaign, about just making people aware of it. Because if people are aware of the trial, they might know someone with money. And money is a big aspect of running a campaign, because you do have to fundraise quite a lot. And the more contacts you have, the better prepared you are if you need to send an injection of cash. Yeah, so just get your name out there, really.
Programmes like Sailability, do you think they're good at getting people into the sport so they can potentially work their way up like you've done and find their potential?
Yeah, I think they are. I think that the sailability events that are put on are very good and well organised, such as the multi-class regatta, and also the dinghy show is a very good way of getting people who may be sailing able-bodied boats now, but may well be struggling and need to get into disabled boats and therefore can progress on the Paralympic pathway. So it's a very good way of introducing people to the sport.
Do you think that the Paralympic sailing events will really help to put disabled sailing on the map?
Yes, yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, if you think about it, disabled sailing only really started at Paralympic level in about 12 years ago, really, at Sydney. And since then it's just grown and grown and grown to the point where the Scud events the Scud was only introduced in 2005, and now we're getting 20 odd boats that sail for gold in World Championships. It's brilliant. And I think the fact the more people we can get aware of it, then the more people will get into the boats, and that's best for our competition, really, because it pushes us harder to train harder.